Say, Chair too. Well, it's been the honor of my professional life to be the mayor of my hometown. And I treat it like an honor every single day. And you know, my daughter represents the fourth generation of our family that calls Boise home. You know, and I have to answer this question honestly because we have to separate from each other. And I need to talk a little bit about my opponents. I spent years making up for Brett Cole's scandal and the shame that it's brought on the city and on our city employees that weren't a part of that. Rebecca, bless your heart, but you're one of the most contentious public servants that I've ever been around, and it shows up. Lauren, 10 years on city council is not new. 10 years with very little to show for that. That isn't new. What separates me from this pack is making tough decisions for the long-term best interest of the city. That's what I've always tried to do. You hear a lot of short-term thinking, cut this project, we'll cut your taxes, and we'll still give you these great things. It's just not true. This is one of the most important times in our history, and I've been here for a whole lot of it. Born and raised and lived almost all my life here. There'll be a time when I'll step aside from this job. This is not that time. I'm looking forward to the next 4 years to take a great city to an even greater heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you all candidates. Before we
I think
you have 15 seconds.
I definitely apologize for what happened. There's no question about it. It was wrong. I'm sorry. It happened 16 years ago. But let's take a look. I promise that that'll never happen again. But I also made other promises during the 10 years that I was mayor. One, I promised that we would have public safety. We hired 10 police officers a year. We hired 90 officers. The results of that is we do have a safe community. I made another promise, and that was that we would conserve our foothills. I stepped up. I asked Chief Justice McDevitt to work with us, to plan for that. I came to Boise State University, by the way, the School of Public Policy. And at the School of Public Policy, we got on the phones. We asked the citizens of Boise, would you support conservation? Would you support a 2-year levy? And at what level? And you did the work. It was $50 a year for 2 years. And so what did we do? I made a promise. We fulfilled that promise.
Thank you.
And there are many other promises that I made that I kept, and I'll keep that same promise.
Thank you, Mr. Coles. Ms. McLean, you wanted to comment as well, very briefly. Is that right? Or were you shutting us down? Oh, sorry.
No, I wanted to respond.
Sorry.
What Mayor Bieter calls contentious, a lot of folks call courageous. Having the courage to stand up to someone who has, in his words, butted heads with the legislature and, you know, been antagonistic to groups that can help us. Several people have said to me, we're glad you're in public office because you're one of the few people we know who's not afraid of Mayor Bieter and not afraid that he's going to come after you, that you're willing to stand up for what you believe in and disagree with him.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
In my 8 years on city council, I've been proud of the work that I've accomplished
as a council person. But I think really what sets me apart is this. I'm not focused on the politics of the past and this that goes on in so many places and prevents us from moving forward. I'm focused on the future. And as mayor, you can do so much more. The mayor understands that, and I really look forward to thinking about the future and resetting relationships, walking away from the grudges, and that's what sets me apart.
Thank you very much.